I consider it good news when I received the phone call to come to West Milton for my introduction with Hoffman United Methodist. It was 2003. My family and I moved into the parsonage and began ministry, and life was good. But my eyes were not. Having just been diagnosed with glaucoma, I didn't realize what was before me. But after a few years of good ministry, I ended up having something like 4 surgeries in my right eye in 3 months. Or was it 3 surgeries in 4 months? Either way, too many surgeries in one eye in a short amount of time was not good. As I attempted to come back, I realized that no matter how far ahead I was unable to do all I needed to do. It took everything I had just to get ready for Sunday morning. I would go home after work, and I was short with my wife and my children. I realized it was unfair to my family, unfair to the church, unfair to myself to continue active pastoral ministry. Making the decision to leave pastoral ministry was one of the hardest things in my life. I was filled with confusion and lost. I was sure of my call into ministry, but I didn't know what God was doing. I didn't know what that call meant anymore. Eventually, I had some friends suggest I look into becoming a spiritual director. After some time and some research, I found a program at George Fox Seminary in Oregon. I began to study there. I found myself in a prayer class at a retreat center in Oregon. My classmates were given instructions to go outside to a prayer labyrinth, but my professor and the hostess of the retreat center called me aside and told me they thought it would be best if I stayed inside. Because of my vision, they presented me with a lap labyrinth or finger labyrinth, and they suggested that I take it over by the couch, sit by the fireplace, and trace my finger along the path to the center of the board. So, grumbling under my breath, I sat down and began. As I started along the path, I quickly realized that my finger would jump the track and I would be lost. So I tried again. Started out along the pathway. Once again, my finger had lost track. Then I thought, the whole reason I'm here is because of my vision. I wonder what would happen if I closed my eyes and began to trace along the groove. And so I did. With my eyes closed, I was able to keep my finger where it needed to be. But I noticed something else. Every time I thought it was going to be a long path around the board, it turned. Thinking then that I would have another quick turn, ended up being a long path. Something else I noticed was that when I thought I was going to turn to the left, I ended up turning to the right. I was always anticipating the wrong way. It got to the point where I tried to stop anticipating and just let my finger trace along the path. I don't really remember how long it took. from beginning to end. I really don't think I was aware of the time at all. Later that evening, as I reflected about my lap labyrinth experience, I realized that it really didn't matter how far or short or which direction I was moving. What mattered was that my fingers stayed in the groove. What matters is that I stay connected to Jesus Christ, regardless of which way my life turns. It doesn't matter how my call might shift or transform. What matters is that I stay connected to Jesus, that I abide with Christ, that before He called me to be a pastor or a spiritual director, whether I have a label as a baker or a store clerk, as long as I stay connected with Jesus along the way, He's going to lead me into that truth. I'm beloved by God. I'm God's adopted son. If you find that you are in a place where you didn't anticipate you'd be, I invite you to focus on your relationship with Jesus. Deepen your faith. Follow His way. Allow Him to lead you into the ultimate truth. You are loved by God, and God wants to give you that abundant life He promises.